Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BARCastTV. It's December 29th, 2024. We have brought to you another 5v5 match from the Bar exclusive server, which means that we have some top ladder players on both teams. We can do our introduction, spawning on the left side of Coombe Valley. Representing the red team, we have Ragna playing as the Armada commander. His yellow teammate Hexu spawning behind them, playing as the orange pieces, Sashgorn. Very strong player. Up here covering the top part of the map is our man Zek. Shout out, thank you Zek for making that server. And on the bottom in the magenta pieces, Pro Autopilot. Super strong player. So on the opposing team, wow, this is making me happy because we've got one of my favorite players, Teddy here, spawning as the blue commander. Underneath him, the Pro Boys, Andy and Elmer Fudd. Fiddler, which I know that this is like another player, and then Dark Cyclone we've seen popping off on the on these games, and then finally in top mid we have Happiness covering. So a little bit of a different spread of members or players from both sides, right? We see the red team is gonna use Sashgorn on the high ground here, I guess, to cap the mexes in the back, whereas the blue team has just gone for like an all commander start, this is interesting. Okay. Two cons straight away that are expanding towards mid, and interesting enough, Ragna and Hexu kind of did something very similar here. So despite 5 players, 5 commanders at the start, at the front, Ragna and Hexu are kind of playing the same way, right? They have this shared vehicle lab, the con turret's already up. Something similar for the Pro Boys? No, they're just kind of playing, I think, a little more by the book, using these construction vehicles as build power instead of the construction turrets, right? So Ragna and Hexu moving into the middle of the map. We have Autopilot opening core bots. Pretty standard from him. I'd like to think of him as a core player. Meanwhile, Happiness doing the same thing, but really forced to make a bunch of basic solars, right? I guess both players did that. And our man Teddy has this 3 construction bot. It's going to, what is this? Cap these mexes in the back. Okay. I really think Sashgorn has, this is like a better spread of players as far as capping these mexes, but I suppose it does mean this is slower to take, but honestly, I don't like this as a spawning position sometimes because it feels like your commander takes forever to get to the front, but of course you are covering this geo, which it is very important on this map, right, at 10 wind speed. So getting up the geo and AGO is super important on this map. So perhaps the trade-off is faster mexes, but like a weaker position, the game goes longer. Looking at the middle of the map here, we just have a nice spread of incisors. And is that missile trucks coming out? No, just more incisors up against like a single Janus, right? So I guess the red team went for more high quality units here. This is classic Ragna. 2-2-1. See, Sashgorn has 2 construction vehicle gangs. I like to see this. Expanding in the back. Oh, Master Bell. I'm sorry. I missed you. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Master Bell is spawning just underneath here, who is good to see playing the game again. It's pretty sharp with his micro. Likes to stay in that T1 phase. Of course, knows the units. Something that can take a while to learn in Bar here. There's so many units, so many different niche scenarios you have to learn how to cover. Was this Fiddler's commander? Finally made it to the front. So 4 commanders in mid for the blue team, whereas there's only 3 for the red. Do have like this 1v1 in this bottom lane, Autopilot versus Dark Cyclone, which I think Autopilot's gone ahead and got some more quality units out. These thugs straight away. There's a lot of gunshots here. Happiness is not on the high ground. Okay, it's very important to end up taking these. Of course, there's like another geo to take. And this is not good. Construction vehicle goes down. A lot of pressure here coming onto Fiddler from Master Bell, actually. He's kind of pushed through. He's got 8 versus 2 here in mid. Yeah, and the follow-up is just going to be a bunch of rocket bots to mid, so cool to do a little tech switch there. I'm worried about this lane here. Dark Cyclone, was it 2 Centurions rocket bot against just the 4 thugs of Autopilot? That could end up going the magenta player's way. Have a big run by here for pawns, though. Oh my gosh, this is not good. Oh, okay. Reclaim. But the pawn sneaks through, right? Oh my gosh, they're so low. We're gonna get it? Nice. Okay, that was really close. You don't want pawn sneaking back. End up getting so much damage. These grunts are still getting damage. Finding a simple radar. Couple more mexes. A really nice rating here. Just kind of distracting. And the air follow-up. Okay, this is what I thought was going to end up being the play. You just stay in the top lane and follow up with air. So we have some air scouts coming out from the red team. Gonna figure out what player is where. If there's any transitions going on. Little AFK micro there. These rocket bots are getting a really nice advantage here in this lane versus Elmer Fudd, though, is kind of forced on micro and dance this around, dodging the shots. Construction turret going up here in mid for the red team. Master Bell just sitting on his lab, producing units. Autopilot on top was opted for some more construction turrets. Both commanders going down, excuse me, and I really don't like this. Like pushing up the hill, like maybe he's like chewing up the space, but really you just want to contest this area. And maybe even like transition to air or something, get some con turrets dropped there, but it's too late. Sashcorn's already on the way. Really nice play here, actually. What's the transition? Is there any like figs coming out? No, it's just straight gunships. Okay. Happiness snuck a single grunt through. It's already up to 8 kills. I think it got those 2 construction vehicles, right? No, those are up here on the high ground. Excuse me. Sash 2, good for that. He's trying to micro this, but the Resbot's already got one of the Conricks. You gotta go by, click those, right? Oh, they chew through this metal so quickly, right? And these Banshees are not good at taking those out. I mean, there's a little bit of reclaim up there, but fortunately for the orange commander, he will end up getting the position, right? Could start putting down some LLTs, cap the mexes, maybe move up to the high ground here. So let's take a zoom out and see where these two teams are at. I'm sensing a T2 transition. Yeah, Teddy's already on the way. Just finished there. Really important to get that out and get this AGO online, which is already turned on here from our man Teddy. In the middle of the map, any transitions? Master Bell. Maybe autopilot ends up doing it. And yeah, this is really cool. Sash just gives his commander to autopilot. Hey, take this. I don't want to micro it anymore. Well, he can switch back to really focusing on being the air player / support player. So what would he need to be doing? Maybe like facilitating a transition, right? And distributing T2 cons, but oh my gosh, this is really bad actually. Teddy's like already underway with this T2. He didn't even need to reclaim his basic lab, so he's still like trickling out units to the front. Meanwhile, these two pro players are doing what they can to defend in mid. Really quality units here, up for Hexu, so this could snowball out of control. Maybe like 2 of these commanders end up going down, or like Teddy's commander falls right here. But I think he's just buying enough time, right? Just get the AGO turned on. He's got a lot of metal in the bank. Getting out a bunch of Twitchers. Excuse me. Butlers. Just as good. Maybe not just as good. Twitchers are superior to Butlers, but they do their job. All right, that fast, agile build power. Just assist these T2 construction bots. Meanwhile, from the red player, doing what he can, kind of bullying Teddy off this position. He's going to end up losing this plateau. Mid is still kind of back and forth. It could go either way. But here on the bottom lane, Autopilot has flown all the way to his opponent's base. Is he going to try and land up here? I mean, these are so tanky, right? Yeah. Just D-gun the 2 maces, right? You just walk at the lab and blow it up. Okay, I guess that's how you win. So bottom lane ends up getting lost here for the blue commander, but he is on T2, right? AGO is almost halfway done. Stalling energy at the moment, which is not ideal. Would really like to see his build power, you know, gone into that before he tries upgrading his mexes. Autopilot just captures the lab. That's cute. Okay, yeah, self-D on all of these basic solars, right? I mean, they're going to end up giving these units veterancy, but, I mean, this backline is about to get raided. Terrible position, and Happiness ended up going T2 himself, which not sure if I agree with that. I think he would have been better off like transitioning to air himself, getting some transports out. Here we go. Yeah, Sash already trying to take this Geo here, preparing for a T2 transition, right? First T2 con coming out for the red team here in mid. Nice place to have a lab. Mid still looks like it could go either way. And with these T2 units coming to the front line, I think Teddy might start having an advantage here. Meanwhile, in the back line, Pawns and Grunts are just ripping through all of these units. Fiddler desperately trying to get up some LLTs. This contour, it's going to make that a lot easier. So much build power here in the back line for our blue player. And this AGU is almost finished. Oh my gosh, this needs to finish like so long ago. Gonna give orange team a chance to get an AGU up even faster. I mean, he's ready. He's got the build power there. Just needs the con to get that turned on. But somehow there is a single medium tank here that's getting reclaimed. Big run by Pawns here for Teddy, who's really just... I mean, this is going really well, right? I mean, he's got T2 behind. He's won his lane. Pushing two of these players back. It's going to force Ragnar to bring up his units. Meanwhile, Autopilot is rebuilding, fortifying this position, getting up more build power, and has these T1 armies bearing down on mid. Meanwhile, this top side is bumped up pretty nicely, just getting this A Geo. Excuse me, basic Geo. I think he should end up making that one down here. Needs a T2 con. Come up here, tap his mexes, and then maybe fly it down. Big group of gunships. This is going to do a lot of damage. There's no AA in the backline here. I guess maybe you could go for the main base here, but I think your best bet is just clearing out mexes that are way behind the line. But Sash would know better than me. He's going to jump on the build power. Okay, snipes one of those AA turrets. I mean, Fiddler's desperately trying to scramble to get these up, right? Oh yeah, those are all going to go down. So the main is pretty much breached right here. One more contour left. Sniping build power. Forcing Fiddler to bring this commander back up. Same with Elder Fudd to make some AA. I think Teddy's sensing weakness here on the bottom finally. He's going to pull some of his army back down south to contest this big move from Autopilot. Still no AGO from the red team, so that we can see up here. Kind of pushing blue in the lead here. Teddy's trying to get his own air lab up to try and contest with Sash Goran's gunships and fighters. It's going to be hard pressed to do that. That's a lot of units, and there's so much pink here. Spilling into the bottom side of the map, and even some resbots, right? So this situation could really start spiraling out of control. Yeah, T2 here for Master Bell. Trying to cap his mexes. Where is that T2 con, right? Guess it was deliberate over here. I mean, it has to be capping an AGO. Oh, just going to the back line grabbing mexes. Okay. I mean, they have so much pressure. I mean, there's really a reason, not a reason to cap those. Really strong play here from the red team, right? Raiding the back line here. Getting a nice scout of the blue player. You can see at his main base where his build power is at, and confirming whether or not he has the his own AGO up, right? I could give Teddy a chance to get back into air. Okay, so Autopilot's going into air himself, right? Look at all these shures. Two labs right here. Air lab in his old main base, right? Really coordinated attack here. Just stunning the AA while your Banshees do the work. Mid could suddenly swing out of control, though. We have a lot of Fiends here, and I see a couple of commanders grouped together, but there's T2 on the field for the red team. And these lightning tanks are very strong. Can't really kite into them, but... Okay, so these T2, it's a few Mausers actually are going to end up going down. So can the D-Gun stay this off? Could be a nice little run by here from Happiness getting through, right? It's going to force Hexu back. It's going to force these lightning tanks to come deal with these these fiends. But this backline play is just so strong. These thugs and maces have made it all the way to the other side of the map, right? Teddy's just now able to, been clearing out the gunship, but he's got anti-air instead of units where he needs them. And what is this? Fiends getting on top of the main base. I don't think they're going to get too much more damage than this, right? Even the reclaim is strong on these units, right? So self-D takes out a lot of grunts. Mid is falling, though, so this T1 army could kind of break the middle part of this red team. That maybe buys Teddy enough time to clear out autopilot from this position, but too late. He's already has a T2 lab up here of his own. He's getting T2 build power with his own butlers, so he's going to start scaling here in a moment. Could even go as far as capturing this own AGO, right? Finally, some fiends coming out into the back line to clear out these thugs, right? We've got welders and pawns. I'd like to see a lot of build power sent back up here to try and retake these, scoop up the metal that's on the ground, convert it into some T2 units. Hexu's commander went down. Master Bell giving him some tier 2 units of his own. And finally, we see some extra build power and a T2 con come down to this AGO for the red team. So they could, they don't even really need it. They're up 6.8k to 4.7k energy. So really, this is their game to lose. Looks like that push in middle was kind of cleared up. These lightning tanks and Mausers have regained control of the position. A lot of build power coming out from our red player. Pretty ambitious little resbot there, but another AGO just finished for the blue team, so that's really nice. It's gonna catch them back up. And this big like T2-ish army could contest autopilot, but it just sucks that he's capped these 9 mexes back here, right? It's upgrading T2 mexes on this plateau of his own. You just don't see that coming out for the blue team, right? So this is a lot of mexes that are kind of swinging in their favor. So many uncapped mexes, right? 6 more T2 mexes that could come back online. Finally see some resbots heading to the back line from Teddy's team. Just staying on hounds for now. But sensing some kind of T2 transition from Sashkorn, right? He's got the AGU up, right? He's got T2 mexes. Maybe T2 air is going to be the play. Yeah, Teddy calling to spend metal from his team, right? They're playing with their sliders down, so you gotta add on build power. Where is it gonna be? Maybe some more tick production here. Some quality T2 units, right? T2 vehicles. You even have sprinters in the back line here, but there's a T2 army that's gonna start being put out onto the field here from autopilot, who's doing the right thing. He's under pressure, so he's just making welders. They're super tanky. Can't really push into these units. He's even got the high ground, right? Meanwhile, in mid, Ragna is dangerously forward here. I think he's kind of surrounded by tanks at the moment. And yeah, so T1 units getting on top of the Mausers. It's definitely what you don't want. Okay, this is why he felt so confident. These sumos here from Master Bell, really good at pushing into T1 armies. See, on top mid, Zek finally has T2 units out of his own, so he's going to start pushing back against Happiness, who I guess has the APM and resources now to start focusing on his lane again. He's kind of distracted there, trying to stabilize this position for his team, right? But here is this high ground push coming from the blue team, and they're not going to be successful in this. It's too many welders here on the high ground, plus a commander, all this build power. Little bit of a feed. Maybe Happiness gets us around, right? This could end up swinging it in their favor, right? He's going to turn towards mid here. He really has to, right? It's T2 armies from Masterville and Ragna here. Mauser's bearing down on this position, right? What do you get, a Starlight up? No, you get a T2 Artie, okay. It's going to cover these units. These T2 tanks are going to cover Teddy for now. Okay, really nice play. Clearing those out. Lightning tanks don't really deal with those well. Fiddler doing what he can to kind of stabilize underneath Autopilot's position here. And this counter push from Zek looks like it might get overran actually with Fiends. Just a couple of these Hounds. Sheldon's in the back line. Gonna get cleaned up. This is cute. What is it? 2 construction turrets and then a cloak, right? Called out here. And this is a counter push from Elmer Fudd. Okay, he might actually end up getting that Agio. See, Ragnar's commander finally went down in mid. Yeah, you can overrun that pitch. Oh, there's a T2 point defense right there. Okay, but yeah, Autopilot's already on top of it, getting these twin guards out. And he can start getting these really quality units, right? These sharpshooters we hear starting to get their value in mid. So what is this? Fiend versus Fiend in mid. A lot of T1 air for our man Sasha. Here we go. It was skipping T2 air and just goes right into an Aphis. Why not? Capping all these mexes. It's got a slider down really low. Some great coordination from both teams, right? Sitting pretty even on metal, right? Was it? Blue's got a slight advantage on energy income, which is kind of surprising given the situation. But those 2 Agios are really helping out. A lot of wind. T2 air coming from Teddy. And it looks like they're like the blue team is kind of stabilizing in mid and really pushing back this this red team, right? Which is maybe to their own detriment, right? Perhaps they should be focusing on just getting Autopilot off of this high ground, because this could end up turning into like OP feed, right? If you're not like really entrenching yourself in this like part of the map you're able to push forward to. So CC T2 anti-air out on this high ground position. Really cool to see. Teddy putting up some more build power. Sure, we'd see some point defense going out as well. Cerberus coming out for the red team. Getting out some starlights here in mid there, and there's so much going on, but I really think the big problem and issue here is just Autopilot on the high ground. He's getting long-range anti-air, long-range jamming tower. He's got these quality units, resing T2 point defense, right? More and more sniper bots making their way to the field, and here comes like this follow-up T1 attack, these fast raiding units that can once again get into this backline here. See a Armageddon ICBM launcher coming out for Teddy, so I guess he had 5k metal to spend here. This is going up really quickly. It's almost finished. T2 gunships even. Excuse me, those are the high wind stealth fighters. Yeah, and that first Aphus is up just in time to catch up with the blue team, right? And Sashborn's just going to go right into another one. He's got T2 air of his own. It's a lot going on in this game. You see a little bit of a leak here from Andy, but that's going to get cleaned up by Master Bell's Fiends. Do we have any anti-nuke from the red team? I don't see any anti-nuke on front. So maybe this is how blue gets back in the game, but what does he do? Does he try and scout for it? Oh my gosh, there's an atomic bomber out. Or you scout for the anti-nuke and there's atomic bomber it. I mean, Teddy's too good. Look at this. He already has 4 anti-nukes up. What is this? Some mammoths out. These are one of my favorite units. Really strong at pushing. Wondering where does this nuke go though, right? We were looking for anti-nuke. It's almost 30% done. I don't see any for the red team, so this could be a huge issue. Maybe you just nuke Autopilot off of this position, right? Maybe that's the way to do it, right? There's a commander up here, all this build power, huge thorn in the side. That'd leave this army pretty much naked and like unsupported, right? Yeah, so that's has to be where you throw that, right? See, the Cerberus is up. What is the range on this Cerb? Actually, that's really not even that good. Okay, where is this nuke at? 50%? No, it's over 50%. Okay. So the clock is ticking. And is anyone going to get an anti-nuke up in time? You can see some fusions going up from autopilot. It's really unnecessary. Stop. Sashborn's going to stop scaling E at 2 APHIS here. He's going to go into some energy converters of his own. Looks like he has his own T2 arm air lab for his own atomic bombers, right? Which are so strong at like any point in the game. It's kind of wild how good those are if they're microed correctly with air control. See Rattlesnake going up on the high ground here finally for autopilot. It's going to start raining down on Fiddler's base, and I think this base is almost going to go down. It's pretty close. Here comes the nuke though. Doesn't quite get the commander. Nuke is a candy cane. Yeah, that's right. How many kills was that? 57 kills, and another nuke is about 20% done. So really you have to scramble to get up anti-nuke. We see that going up in both these bases, right? Anti-nuke going up for Master Bell here on the front line. So that's not going to happen again, but I guess what, you could just nuke back here or just get the commander again. I'm not sure what you would choose to nuke. Maybe up here if you scout there's no anti covering that location, but maybe just get one more nuke off and then reclaim this, right? Second AFUS going down for Teddy. Okay, really nice energy scaling. And the T2 Air is going to clean up this army, right? Right on. So finally, it looks like autopilot's position is going to get dealt with, but oh my gosh, this is crazy. Splash damage and already in a dream. 87 kills on this Rattlesnake. Oh, looks like it's finally going to get surrounded, and this position's going to get cleared up. So maybe autopilot put too many eggs in one basket, right? I mean, he could have had controlled this position right here, had those T2 mexes. This position kind of porked up, defended, and then... But it was a strong push, right? All he was missing was a single anti-nuke, right? So, a little unfortunate, but just goes to show you. Teddy's no joke. Where do you send this nuke, or do you just reclaim it? I mean, it's like 5k metal, right? T2 Air finally going to clear out all of this in the bottom right, and you really have to concentrate on capping those mexes, right? Teddy's already on it. Fiddler, does he have T2 con anywhere? I mean, he's done the best he could trying to stay in here, right? See spy bots out here for Agna. Okay, so he's planning on making a big play. And LRPC is already up in mid. Okay, so one spy bot goes off. 4 tremors here on the high ground. Second spy bot goes off. Okay, most of this army is gone, but we have still quite a few tigers, right? Okay, so here comes the T2 bombing run. This is going to be going for the APHIS. It's really what he wants to get. Okay, so he bombs that position, right? But really you want to go for the APHIS, right? So here comes the Figs. Oh my gosh. I don't think this is going to work out. Yeah, there's too much air here for the blue team, right? That bombing run gets shut down. Oh my gosh, I'm just totally missing this. 5 fusions in the back here for happiness. What is that? 54 construction turrets, 2 T2 labs of his own. Alright, excuse me for missing that, right? Time to him to switch into his own units, right? Yeah, here we go. Stream of T1 units. These ticks are just going to totally overwhelm all of these tier 2 units, right? Starlight should go down. Rattlesnake can't deal with them. Ticks on top of the like main base and production, right? So it's not the position you want to be in. T2 Air is showing up. Single demon might be able to kind of shut this down. But yeah, T3 already out here for our 2 pro boys, doing a nice job supporting that with a bunch of hounds. See, Teddy is in the back line just scaling up his eco. Actually, I'm not sure what Teddy's doing right now. Okay, he's trying to take this bottom right. That's what he's doing. Even rezzing a commander? Too good. So Master Bell's transitioned into tier 3 as well. He's got these demons out. These mammoths are doing a really nice job holding on to mid here, but where is this atomic bomber? Is he going for the anti? No, does he get it? Anti goes down. There's one on the high ground though, surely. Surely this is loaded. Does it get caught? Oh my gosh. Is this gonna get through? Or do you just nuke mid? Wow. Okay, Teddy's too good. I'm telling you. He's just too good. Well played. Really well played. So, wow, what a game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this 6v6 cast. Let me know in the comments section. Like the video.
Battle ended.
Subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next cast. Thanks for watching.